Hello and welcome to BTB Podcast with your host Baron and following me, Franz and Cammy to the crusade against the mouse.
Crusade against the
Rise
sure,
of Skywalker
sure.
Mandalorian.
That's a good way to put it.
So yeah, we're going to be doing a season 1 summary of Mandalorian thoughts after the Rise of Skywalker, but kicking us off, I know you have some strong words, Cammy, so why don't you introduce us to how the movie starts and why it's badly paced?
I don't know. It just really felt like Endgame, like really fan fiction-y. I don't really hate it as much as like a lot of other people. I thought it was pretty bad, but I find myself loving it just because it's so like ironically, it's kind of funny to me. Just everything that happened in it.
Wow, very strong words.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel that strong about it. It's just whatever. I'm kind of sad they didn't do like a lot with the fan service. They did shit like, oh look, it's Chewbacca's medal, and oh look, Luke is like lifting the X-wing, but they didn't do like stuff I think fans would have appreciated more.
And it also kind of felt like there wasn't really as much of a sequel trilogy as thought out as it was like, hey, here's going to be J.J. Abrams, he's going to make his movie, then Ryan's going to make his movie, and then J.J.'s going to go back to his movie and answer like all of the questions he did.
Yeah, it didn't work
Kind of
out.
seems like one.
It just didn't work out. I don't think it was like an inherently it's always a bad idea. It's just like in this case, it didn't work mostly, and then I think it's also like it's partly reflective of just how like different things are now compared to when the first three were made. Because like the internet makes everyone a lot more in the loop on any rumors, and like so then there's like a lot more. There's a hyper sensitivity, like a greater attention on who's in charge of what. So then obviously that leads to more like theories and stuff. So it becomes like kind of obvious to me that it's you know JJ and Rian Johnson, like who's making what movie, and like it feels like it definitely does feel like it's JJ going like putting an idea forward and the next guy not following up on that or like changing it, and then JJ taking it back and then changing it again. So it's like it's more obvious this time around. I don't know if like the original trilogy might have actually maybe they had something like that, but it's like it's not as
The thing
clear.
with the OT is that George Lucas was like he wasn't like directing it, or like he was kind of like the creative person behind it all with the original trilogy, so it did have like a vision even though the other movies had different directors. And that's why like Empire Strikes Back just feels like A New Hope, but just way better because there was somebody like just helming the idea but making it also a movie. But like when it comes to the sequel trilogy, it's like they didn't have that because they kept swapping people around, so they lost their focus.
I don't know. I felt like this movie was just like way too ambitious in terms of like how much I wanted to cover. It almost felt like opposite-ish of like The Force Awakens, because The Force Awakens is like a movie where I felt like they just didn't. They could have done a lot. Like they could have gone like in a new direction, and then like they kind of played it really really safe. And then this one, there's like elements where they play it really safe, but it's also just more of a matter of like they try to make it like about, oh, it's the complete, it's like, you know, the end of like all 9 movies, you know, it's the whole saga, and it's like it's really not. It never really was in my eyes. It was more like an addendum, you know. But then they have to bring Palpatine back, and also on top of that, then they add like this whole new MacGuffin, and they add like planets and people planets where they have to go to, and people they have to meet.
We have
on
to
top of
find the
trying to be.
location rocks to find Exegol. Please help us.
Yeah, there's just like a lot to cover, and it's like it gets to the point where like I genuinely kind of forgot about like the first, like so after after Palpatine reveal, like the whole like light speed skipping thing, like the whole sequence and everything behind it. Like I totally forgot about that until someone mentioned it after. I was
Somebody
like, oh
pointed
yeah.
out in the light skipping scene, one of the places that they teleport to is like a Ralph McQuarrie painting. I thought that was pretty neat. But nobody's ever gonna remember that. It's just gonna remember Palpatine's there and that Rey's his granddaughter.
Oh, and I love how he's like, oh, and Palpatine's back, and then it's just like, the Resistance knows about it, and it's just like, how did, wait, what? And then that's it.
I mean, I don't know, because like it seems like a weird opening that they like try to address it with too. It's like, oh, the dead have spoken, Emperor Palpatine.
They don't really, yeah.
Not dead. He gets a.
It's more that they just
he
don't
gives
address
a
it.
broadcast to the galaxy.
They just don't address
and
it.
like when they like when they're talking about, it's like, oh, it's Sith tricks and cloning. That's how he did it. And then they're like, oh, okay. Now how do we kill him?
By reflecting his lightning back at him
I think,
again. Duh.
I think like the movie definitely could have benefited if they did an end game and made it like a 3 hour long picture, because like that would definitely would have helped with like, especially at the start of it. There's just so much that just goes on because you have Kylo, he's killing people on Mustafar, and then he's traveling to Yadu or whatever, and then he's meeting Palpatine and just all this stuff happening.
I didn't like the premise from the start, so it would have been like a really hard sell. So yeah, I probably would have had to have been like 3 hours for me to really buy it. Maybe, possibly, because it's just like, oh, he's back, and the foreshadowing is not really there. There's a bring him back. Maybe there's like some retroactive stuff, but it doesn't really. Yeah, it really doesn't feel like it's kind of like, oh, Leia is Luke's sister. It's like, okay. It's on that level, but like in this case, it's a big deal because it's the main villain rather than more like a tacked on thing.
Part of it that feels really dumb, like just like adding on to like something not a lot of people cared about, like who Rey really is the fact that they had to throw in like Palpatine's relation to her, and they never explain like how did Palpatine like get kids, and it's never talked about kind of thing.
I mean, I was perfectly fine with like Last Jedi's thing for it, where it's like, oh yeah, you're a nobody, because like that was part of the message, kind of like Finn was just a stormtrooper, but he leaves and makes it big with the Resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like a spice runner, and he decides he's gonna become the Resistance's best pilot. And
yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really feel. Oh, I guess now that it's over, no one can tell me like, oh, just wait for the third movie, it'll all make sense then. Now I can just be like,
just wait until the fourth movie, it'll all make sense then.
Just wait until the books and the comics and the games and
Matthew
whatever.
Stover's The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, if only.
He might have actually fixed this movie.
Oh, man, I wish he was back, but whatever. It's like, I don't know. It felt like the recent, like the whole trilogy just it played it safe in the aspect I didn't want it to, and it changed things that like I didn't like or like I didn't care for in the first place. But like in a lot of ways, it still felt like it played it. But the more important aspect is that it played it safe. Like I don't mind if it like does things that like I did like, oh, that's kind of weird, but it's like I'd rather them do that than do something like just bring back Palpatine and pretend that this was like the culmination of everything when it's really not. It's just you cashing in, a decade later.
Yeah, and there's like, I don't know, like the dagger. I think the more I think about it, like the less it makes sense. Because like is it supposed to be ancient? I forget if they said like the dagger.
My idea. So as far as I know, the dagger is like, it's an ancient thing that leads to this ancient place. Yeah, and that Palpatine, and then like his like
But
cultist legion or whatever has that. Yeah,
but the thing is that like it has like the fold out
yeah, as the
thing
fold
that
out
they use
thing.
to find where it is, but it's to the Death Star too. So it's like, did he like say, "Oh, when the Death Star 2 lands, make sure to make this map of exactly where it is, and then bury that, so that my grandson will find it and then reach me." Just
I
seems
don't
really
Feel it
fucking
in
know.
the force. Darth Vader will betray me. I will put this map in my incomplete Death Star.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't like the whole Avatar thing they had. Everyone, all the past lives are within me, and then all the past lives are within me too. And it's like Korra, book two, and Korra book two is the worst season of Korra. So like, why would you want to copy that? Why would you want to remind me of that?
It's okay because now I know that Rey is in fact infused with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Like, who watched Korra book two and said, "Yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that season finale."
J.J.
Like,
Abrams,
why would you do
obviously.
Yeah,
that?
He's also infused with Kanan Jarrus and Ahsoka Tano.
Oh yeah, and the random that
She
yeah, that's
became
just
part wolf. That's why
strange.
she had sharp teeth in the dark side vision, because she had
Oh my
Kanan Jarrus' full
gosh.
form.
Oh, and the whole like the making a cross with the light. That's just it's so bad in comparison to how like episode 6 did it. Like with the whole like throw the weapon away, which is like it almost sounds kind of dumb, but I think it just fits with like the whole like almost like Asian-y sort of non-violence. Not I wouldn't say Asian-y, but like it's just like it fits with the non-violence idea of like or like the sort of passive resistance sort of thing that this story has going for it. Whereas like in this movie, it's just like, and she made an X, and she made him lightning himself, and it's just like that's a lame way to defeat him.
It's like fucking parrying in a video game. You just hit it just right, and then all his power
Oh,
flies
see,
back at him.
I've been playing. I got Sekiro over the holidays, and then like I saw this thing about like lightning being able to like catch lightning with your sword, and immediately I thought of like Star Wars.
Sekiro Rey mod.
Sekiro Shadows die 5,000 times because oh
Sith
my
die
god, I die
twice.
so many times in that game. I've Dragon Rod in real life, but like yeah, it was dumb, and all I can think of is like, man, if only Mace Windu had two lightsabers.
I saw a meme. Somebody photoshopped him
Yeah, I
with.
know. Can
That
you
was really
imagine?
great.
Can you imagine if that was like if that's like an alternate universe instead of cutting off his hand and it can just throws him the other lightsaber,
Don't listen to
and
him,
that's
Anakin. Give me your lightsaber. Okay, sure.
he just just like X.
He's like, no.
It's the Dooku technique.
Oh, that'd be so stupid. Actually, no. You know what? I want to see that in like a what if sort, like in an official what if Marvel, like Star Wars comic by Marvel. Like it's like
The
an
Rise of
infinity story.
Skywalker Infinites.
No, yeah, it's like if episode 3 ended happily, how would it how would it go? And it starts with instead of cutting off his hand, Anakin just like tosses Mace Windu the lightsaber, and Mace Windu makes an X and just kills Palpatine with his own lightning, just like Rey did. It's like poetry. Yeah, that'd be great. I want to see that.
Or like an alternate one is where Dooku says like, "Oh, he's the Sith Lord," and then they both turn, and it's like Rey and Kylo turning against Palpatine, and then he just like
If what you
shocks
told
them.
me he was correct, you would have gained my trust.
I think the one thing I liked about the movie was the weird dyad stuff, which came from Last Jedi. Like all the like teleporting objects kind of. They're able to interact with each other through time and space. I like that part. Everything else was just kind of like
Like, yeah, that kind of spice things up with like being able to have that sort of, because like that's what I kind of missed about the like, because I wish that they included more like Force stuff when they did lightsaber duels, because prequel trilogy is basically just all flashy lightsaber
yeah.
stuff. And so like I kind of feel like, hey, sequel trilogy, why not tap more into like Force stuff for like the combat? Or like, you remember when like they were using the Force to stop the lightsabers
Yeah.
when they were like dueling on the second Death Star? Oh yeah, how big of a how big of a plot hole do you think that is though, with the whole like how did he get the TIE fighter through hyperspace to reach Palpatine? Because he's like assumingly like he took a TIE fighter from the second Death Star. Right?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's the
I don't
same
really.
way how
At
Luke
this point,
got there.
I don't really care. It's just such a. It's just it's such a small thing at this point. I don't really mind. He just memorized everything. Like he memorized the routes and did it manually. I don't like. Who knows?
It's like Paradise Island. Exegol is known only to those who knows its location.
Yeah. Like once you know it, like or like once in this case Ben knows it and he has like a really good memory. He just knows all the numbers to punch in.
I mean, he knows
Obviously.
who Finn was, like as a stormtrooper. So
Yeah, so dude must just be like have like
Force
one
memory.
of those memories. Photographic memory thanks to space magic.
I want to talk about Rey being able to shoot lightning.
I thought that was a weird scene. It kind of I kind of see why I see why they did that, but like I don't like it being used as like a bloodline thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, because Dooku can do it too, so it's obviously a technique you have to pass down to someone else, and it's just like Rey gets really mad and she can summon it, kind of thing. I really didn't like that.
Yeah, and I don't think she didn't feel mad enough. Like there's way madder people. Like why doesn't Anakin shoot lightning anytime he like does anything?
Because then he would have died. He's in
Because
a robot
no,
suit.
I don't mean Vader. I mean like Anakin. Like you know whenever he's super pissed in like any of the stories before, because he's like always pissed, right? Not always, but like when he gets pissed, he's like super pissed as well, right? But it's not there.
Because he has complete Jedi training to hold back his true self.
But the main problem is not that. It's just what it does is like the fake out thing, the fake out death with Chewbacca. It's like, oh, I killed it. It's like, no, you didn't. Just kidding. It's like, I don't. Why? Why would you have that? You've got so much to cover still. Why would you add all these random like plot things? You know, oh, what if Chewbacca died? Oh, we need to wipe out C3, and then you reverse it entirely. It's just like,
Well, they're the most
Chewbacca's not
marketable
dead.
characters. You
Like,
can't lose them.
It's not like this whole trilogy is coming to an end. So like, why not take that risk? Because like, unless there's some future plans for like
yeah.
30
So like,
years
why
down the
would you?
line.
So, yeah. So why
Chewbacca
would you fake it out? Yeah, exactly. No one like they're popular-ish, but they're not like essential. I mean, you already killed the big three. Why would you care if you kill a few more?
Because you can't make a lot of money off of people when you can make a lot of money off of ambiguous characters like Dogman and Robot.
Like radical, like apolitical Chewbacca. There's the visual dictionary says like Chewbacca's apolitical or something, and everyone made fun of it. Radical centrist Chewbacca. Actually, I think the Empire has a point.
Wait, was that in
They might
was that
be
in,
right
It was in
on
the
some
dictionary.
Skywalker
The
book?
visual, yeah, it was in the visual dictionary for the movie.
Huh.
They just said apolitical. It's just like it's really fucking funny.
Can we talk about the Knights of Ren and like how fucking shitty they were?
I like how Rian Johnson said he was saving. He wanted, you know, he didn't use them because he was like wanted, you know, JJ to like have them for his movie, and then JJ just they're just the Praetorian Guards again, except like arguably some like not necessarily weaker, but they're taken out a lot quicker.
They couldn't even finish
kinda-
their job against a dude with no lightsaber.
Really, yeah, for real. It's just like they died even faster than the red dudes. It's fucking amazing. And they have all these different types of weapons, and they just all get wrecked way too fast for them, like those weapons to really
like
seem like anything meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, like they kind of all just like back off as soon as Kylo Ren has a lightsaber. So it is a
Yeah.
bit strange that they all like still use like vibroblade weapons and stuff.
I have so many
But
different weapons and they don't do anything with them. They just die. It's
way
just
too
there's just
flexible.
so much
Their
going on.
inclusion in
There's
the
so much
movie
going on.
kind of reminds me of like the old Kenner toys, like advertisement for the Slave One, like the ship that carried away frozen Han Solo.
Yeah.
The guys that kidnapped Chewbacca. That's all they're known for.
It's
Those are
like,
just being built up to be like these badass like forces of like evil, and then they actually come out and all they do is kidnap Chewbacca and then get killed by some dude punching them.
yeah, it's rough. Hux was lame too. He was just replaced by, how do I not remember his Pride? Yeah, Pride.
Whatever happens to Commander Pyre?
I don't
No one
know
cares
because I
about
don't
Commander
watch
Pyre.
Resistance.
I watch Resistance.
Well, like,
Oh,
you should tell us
Citizen
what's going
Orca,
on.
rise up.
Oh
Everyone
man, and
cares
there's
about shiny First Order troopers. Clearly, you can see that from what happened to Phasma. Like, oh wow, we're just gonna throw away like
man,
twice.
I would have liked the way I imagined that she was gonna show up on the bridge of like the main of Pride's like main Star Destroyer, just as Finn and Janna are like turning the turret against it, and then immediately get vaporized. That's But instead she just didn't show up at all, which is arguably better. Just let the dead character lie.
Wait, was it? I
Let her
Ah,
remember
past die.
seeing like a leaked script of the Rise of Skywalker or something like that, and Hux was supposed to get eaten by a turtle or something like that.
I don't know.
I remember seeing something.
I don't really. Yeah.
I think I would have preferred this than just like I found the spy.
It's just so random because he's like, oh, don't worry, like, you need to do this to like prevent them from finding out that I was a spy, and then he just, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. What does that establish? Pride has like more than 5 brain cells. Congratulations.
He wasn't there on Starkiller. Why does he get to be the main, like one of the villains?
I mean, hey, if
Because people were complaining about Hux, and they just decided we're just gonna make him lame. I mean, we're just gonna make him even more lame, and then we're gonna kill him.
I mean, if
That's it.
Phasma can get away for like the same level of treason and then just be like, welcome back like that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's dumb.
This is the last day of Hux.
What other weird things were there in this movie, or just things? Zori
I mean, I
Bliss.
feel like they probably could have done better with the final space battle because like it felt like, hey, here's like every reused asset. We're just gonna dump together and then make this big fight.
They had like
Yeah,
a
they didn't
lot
really
of cool
do much.
ships, but they did a lot of them are like blurred in the background. There's like no good shots of like most of these reference ships, like the Nubian starfighters. They're fucking like never clear in
Yeah.
any shot that they're in. It's really
It's
bad.
just, it's pretty much like, well, if you pause this frame and then you like kind of like squint,
Huh,
you might
yeah.
be able to find
It
something
kind
you
of
know.
does look like the Outrider from Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire.
Basically, that's basically how they do it. I don't know. I guess I wasn't really expecting the space battle to be good because I've never been impressed by the space battles, obviously.
I was when
Except,
Anakin learned how to spin. Oh, that was great.
I don't know.
I mean, I
I
think
thought
like
the
the big
Revenge of the
thing
Sith
for
opening
me
was pretty alright.
was like because like you can look at like any frame of it and like pick out like 3 or 4 ships that are just copy pasted like several times over. So, like, and it just kind of feels lazy and like they could have done like a bit more because like they even had like the Rogue One Mon Calamari ship in there like 3 or 4 times. It's just
Apparently, the Colossus crashed in the fight, so that means that the Resistance members are dead.
epic.
Now we
Yeah,
know how that show
totally.
ends.
Finally die.
Totally.
Totally diddly diddly neighboroni.
Oh.
Also, I want to say that they added the fucking shitty prequel line with Palpatine going
Do
like
it.
it's like unnatural or whatever. But when he shoots
Oh,
out like
that,
his
yeah.
giant sky lightning, he doesn't say unlimited power, and I feel like that's a more missed opportunity than
I mean, he did say do it when he was gonna get killed. Like, do it.
I
I,
should.
I will
Do it.
I will say that he obviously learned from last time by being like, instead of being like, your friends are all going to die, join me, he's like, well, if you kill me, you can save all your friends. At least he added that, but he still suffers from the same thing as in episode 6, where he like, the hero's about to do exactly what he wants, right?
Yeah.
And then he's just like, this is exactly what I want, and then the hero just doesn't do it. It's just like,
Is that the?
he
This is like the
oh,
third
it's
time he's
infuriating.
done it because in the Last Jedi, Snoke does it too.
Oh yeah, and Snoke. I mean, if we're assuming that he's like puppeting Snoke, yeah,
It's like third
it's just
time's the
like,
charm.
you will do this thing, and it's like the hero's like, well, now that you say it, no, I'm not gonna do that. He did that with Luke. Like, Luke was about to kill Vader. He's like, oh, good, strike him down and take his place at my side. And it's just like, what? You just told, like, why would you snap him out of that moment? And like, I don't even fully understand why. It's just like,
It's for
I don't
plot.
fully understand how that even works. It's like, that's like making the dark side out to be like way, like, kind of stupidly corrupting. It's corrupting in that it makes you an idiot and makes you forget about, like, oh yes, I'm gonna join you now because I killed my dad. What? 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 This doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. There's that element of like Star Wars has always been dumb. That's true. It's just that I don't know. I guess this movie just reminds me.
Sith dumb, Jedi smart. Reflecting lightning time.
Ah, I can't. I still can't get over the fact that they ripped off Korra.
I mean, apparently
They
they were
ripped off
gonna
the
do
worst
it.
season of Korra.
Apparently, there's gonna be like some scene where like it wasn't just their voices; there were also gonna be like Force ghosts that were blocking the
That
lightning.
just make it more like Korra.
I feel
That doesn't
robbed
change the base
though.
premise.
That means that they have footage somewhere of like fully costumed Liam Neeson, and I'll never see it. I
I
deserve
mean,
Oh my
this.
honestly,
god.
it might like I'm still banking on there being like some kind of director's cut they bundle with like, oh, buy it now and you get to see what the whole experience is or
They're
something.
probably gonna do like what they did with Endgame, where they like made it so it could last in theaters a bit longer by adding more scenes.
Maybe. I don't think that changed my opinion of it though. Because at its core, it's just so. Uh, I don't think it was. I don't think it was an execution thing for me. I think it was an everything thing. Even if it was done better, it still would have been weird. It's like, yeah, just like stuff like the Sith cultists and everything. Like, more personally, rubbed me the wrong way because it's like, oh, I like the EU, and I like the idea that it was just the two Sith rather than like, oh, there's the Sith cultists. I mean, it's
The
not too
rule
bad,
of
but then it's like
two.
implied that they've been there all along or something like that. And it's just like, what? And then the whole thing of like, well, if you kill them, then then their power goes into you, and that just reminds me of the MMO, the Old Republic MMO, where it was like the Sith Inquisitor story, where you like basically go around collecting ghost hunting, pretty much being Ghostbusters and like collecting ghosts so you can like get more powerful.
No, isn't that what
Sith
the
ghosts.
Emperor does, Valkorion, in the Old Republic? He wants to kill a lot of people in the galaxy so he can use like their force energy, something like that, and become
He
stronger.
Yeah, he kills all of them, and it's like part of like a ritual, but it's like a ritual that requires like certain amounts of prep. But like in this, it's just more like, if you hit me, strike me down in anger. I guess it's also must be a ritual thing. But I don't know. I like the old way they did it, which was just, well, they kill you because it's more of a philosophical thing than a literal power that you like gain. It's more of like a philosophical like some like social Darwinist philosophy of like, well, if I'm stronger than you, therefore I deserve to be the master, so die, rather than like, if I kill you, I'll acquire your essence, like that, which is, I don't like it. it's too fantasy-ish almost.
Well, Star
For me.
Wars is a space fantasy.
I don't like. Yeah, you see, that's my problem with this franchise. I shouldn't like it at all because it's obviously always never been in that. It's always been in that fantasy realm. I shouldn't like it. I just read too many books. I'm in too deep. I'm reading
invested
Alphabet
in it.
Squadron now. I'm reading Alphabet Squadron now. I'm just like, what am I doing? I should be like, you know, if there was like a weird sci-fi franchise or like space opera franchise I would read, I should be reading, it should be Halo. But yeah, it's nuts. Anyways, it's just, yeah, I don't like it because it just feels very unsubtle and just not interesting anymore. Like
are
maybe
you
it would have been
saying?
interesting back in the 1980s, but it's 2019. There's like a million fantasy things at my fingertips at any given moment.
I
Like,
see.
do something weird.
You're
Do
losing
something
your
Asian.
way.
Maybe I'm just biased. Maybe I'm just biased because, like, you know, it's like, oh, I want to see more like Asian shit.
Stay right where you
Oh.
are, Thrawn. I'm sending some Disney brainwash agents right to your door. You need to be recalibrated and reinserted into the fandom. There is no escape.
I mean, I'm kind of just putting out hope for I guess with Old Republic trilogy. That they'll at least
Oh yeah, I heard.
take some lessons from that and like plan it out. But
Yeah. Also, there's the whole thing with like the was it Ray? Yeah. The Raylo thing, especially with like John Boyega, like kind of making fun of them. Honestly, now that the movie's over, I can conclusively say that the romance was not well done.
It's technically incest now because of the ending.
That's what I was thinking.
Who are
It's
you?
just like,
Ray.
well,
Ray who?
Well, I mean, like that's like what she, I guess, like
Ray Solo.
adopts that name because she's like, oh, you know, I trained under the Skywalkers. So that means I'm a Skywalker.
that means I kissed my own like what brother? I don't know.
His brother.
I mean, like it would actually like qualifies themselves, I guess, if like the whole Palpatine is Anakin's dad thing ever gets confirmed. Like, because the thing is, like, it happened in that comic book, like, kind of confirmed it, but then like the writer or someone said like, oh, you know, that was just his vision. That didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
So it's like,
If it's a vision, then what does it even mean?
it's like I don't know. It's like
What was the point?
What happened was Matt Martin just said, "Oh, you know, you're just misinterpreting the vision," and it's just like.
Then
really
tell us what
now.
it means, please.
It just means that he was around, or something. I don't know.
He saw Shmi when she was pregnant. He was like, "Hey, that's a pretty cute baby you got in your stomach."
Yeah, it's just. I
I wouldn't have found with that.
Mind
baby
if I
Yoki
imbue
day.
it with the Force?
I mean, I probably like I don't know, cause like if it still works like that with like how she's Palpatine's daughter, cause I don't know if it's supposed to be like, oh, you know, he imbued Rey's parents with it, or if like Palpatine imbued like Rey's parent or like Rey's parents, and then like they had children, and then they had children, and then you know she was like super force sensitive, or like you know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you ever
Yeah,
hear about the theory that came up before the Rise of Skywalker about how Rey is Shmi? And that Star Wars is a close
I heard the
loop?
theory, but it was obviously like a joke.
People took it seriously. I think Star Wars
Yeah,
Theory made a
but
video
like
about it.
it's just it's pointless. You know, whatever. Anyways, the point. My question was like the whole like Ray Ben romance thing. I don't think it didn't work for me because they spent way too long like being enemies. It's like in terms of like I don't because like if you look at most other like stories of like enemies to lovers, there's still like a gap between when like one person switches sides and then eventually you know they form like a friendship or a romance or whatever it is, you know. Whereas like in this one, because it's a movie, everything's so truncated, it doesn't work for me. It's a hard sell because they spend way too long trying to kill each other. She heals them once and it's like, wow,
No, it's mostly.
the
It
one.
feels like mostly Rey trying to kill Kylo because Kylo keeps reaching out there. He tries so hard.
Yeah, he does. But it's still like kind of like a messed up thing because he's like, oh, I'm gonna like bring you to the dark side and whatever, blah 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 blah. There's the other element of like, there's also that also is the same issue I have with the Skywalker thing, is that she doesn't really spend that much time with either of them. I mean, she doesn't really bond. She spends time with like Luke and Leia, but we don't really get to see her bond that well. She's mostly antagonistic with Luke until like, except when he appears as a ghost. It's like, is that really enough?
Yeah.
For you to suddenly be like, well, I will now consider myself and like
She's
Skywalker
hijacking
and override
the
like
family.
you. It's just, I don't think, it doesn't work for me. If their relationship was like actual, it doesn't. There's no sense of like it being paternal or maternal. Because and that's also because like Leia's like, well, Carrie Fisher's gone, like dead. So it's like it doesn't work because like the scenes she's like, it's very 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 obvious to me that like they're saying things and she just gives very ambiguous responses because she's not actually there. It's like CGI'd in, and then they have to like so like the characters themselves have to like explain what she means through their own dialogue. So it just
like
doesn't
Chewbacca
work.
talk.
She just says very ambiguous. I don't even really remember what she says. Like, because like Rey asks her for advice and everything, and she just gives off like these very off answers.
Part Yoda, I am.
Yeah. Except with the context, it's just obvious. It's not actually. It's very fake-ish, unfortunately.
One thing I
can't really blame them for that.
Understand about this movie is like the message it pushes with Rey, like her family shouldn't like define who she is, kind of thing, and that some things are thicker than blood. But then it's like at the end of the movie, she could have just said, "I'm Rey Palpatine," and like she could have been like someone who wants to like improve the name, so it's like a name of good instead of a name of evil.
I don't know. I think any of them would have been, any choice with the way the movies went. Any choice was kind of weird. I don't think there was a good way to do this.
It would just
like
been
with
better
the way
like that. The Rey Skywalker thing is just really, it's
to be
on
honest,
the nose
like,
and lame.
Probably like for that universe, it'd be like saying like, oh yeah, I'm okay with like the last name Hitler because I can make that name better. I can improve it.
Yeah, and that does seem kind of unreasonable in and of itself. But the other option of like the thing they went with too was, it wasn't. I don't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't as bad in some ways, but it was also like just still very tacked on. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've grown too old and cynical already.
Yeah.
In my 20s.
I mean, an old man who looks down upon anyone.
I don't know. Stover has ruined Star Wars for me. I expect so much more now.
No, suffer. You will get Rey Palpatine.
Why? It reminds me, like, the when she stabs, like, Kylo, it reminds me of, like, Legacy of the Force when Jaina stabs Jason. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but, like, it's like...
I know who they are.
They got, like, a rough understanding, yeah.
Yeah, Jaina kills Jason. She also stabs him fatally, but she doesn't have a healing power, so she can't just reverse all that. Oh, Obi-Wan, you must know that, you must train him. It's like, shut up, Qui-Gon. Like, I'm just gonna force heal you right now.
Qui-Gon. Why? Why didn't you just remind me I had force speed? I could have saved you.
No, you're not powerful enough. You didn't level.
Your stamina was low. You didn't have the correct star cards equipped.
You rolled a 2. I'm sorry. You fail.
Now train the boy. Shut up. And then when he sees him on Mortis, Hey, Qui-Gon, it's been so long. How are you, Dad? Well, how's Anakin doing?
Just fine. Are
Okay,
you
cool.
sure?
Remember to keep him on the right track. Bye-bye.
Oh
But yeah,
god.
do you think the whole like Palpatine coming back like really undermines the sacrifice in Episode 6? Or
No.
I never really liked the prophecy, but yeah, I do think I think bringing back villains is just lame in general.
Well, I mean, Star
Bringing them
Wars
back one
is a
more time.
comic book franchise, so
Oh, obviously, yeah, totally. Oh, I got it. I got it at this point. At this point, yes, I recognize that.
I can't wait for Palpatine to come back in Star Wars 10, Yoda's real bar mitzvah.
And then Yoda jumps into Civic.
Stop the Emperor once and for all, I must. Stock up on ketamine for 900 years, I have. The moment has arrived. Around
Yeah,
the
it's
survivors, a perimeter create.
and just like drifts in a circle around the survivors.
Initial D, I have become.
so, on a different topic, Mandalore season 1. What is season? I mean, I guess like at
I
some
said
points,
Mandalore?
some people didn't go too well, but
Mandalorian.
like yeah,
Oh
Mandalorian.
yes, is it time for me to also complain about Mandal? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all right. It's
Go-
all right
like,
overall.
give
I
all
mean,
your
okay. Well, like
gripes.
first of all, we can talk like the positives, right? It's something like it's really simple and it's like very clean is the way I describe it, and it's in some sense, and I can appreciate that. It's still got cool CGI and everything.
I want to
Not
talk
like
about the elephant in the room.
oh, go ahead.
Why did IRH punch Baby Yoda? I need answers. Why did he do it?
To show that they're bad guys.
Damn.
So we don't feel as bad when IG-11 like really brutally just kills them. Like, and it's not. I think it's pretty intentional. It's pretty calculated how they did it because they made them really funny, so it's they're like really human. So they had to have them like still like punch the baby, or else
Yeah.
people might feel like a bit too bad for them when like IG-11 like breaks the dude's arm and like kills them like pretty ruthlessly.
It's kind of like I guess you're right because like if they didn't do anything, they'd be kind of like Gary the Stormtrooper from Robot Chicken
Yeah, and we all want to root for Gary.
until he burned down
It's
the
like,
home.
yeah. Man, even after he burned down, the Lars had it coming.
Well, Darth
Gary
Vader
is
now
too
says you
wholesome.
can laugh at the little Orphan Annie joke.
Yeah, that was Robot Chicken. I don't think it's gonna happen, is it?
It
A
should.
sequel trilogy Robot Chicken. It really should. They really should do
Actually, no, because they did make a one for the Force Awakens.
Force,
and it was
I know
really
that.
shitty.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
No, I enjoyed it.
Oh, he's black. He must be related to Lando. Haha, funny.
Speaking
to
of,
be
actually,
honest,
we're
like
gonna move on
that's
from
not
that.
too far from like what people actually bring up with that sort of thing.
That's what happens. That's what happened in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, like
Oh, look,
this
it's
black girl.
Janna.
She must be.
Fuck, I should have
I
said
thought
anything.
what was really what was really funny is when Poe went to go save Finn, and then like Lando's like, "Nope, I got it."
That's my son. He's my responsibility.
It's like there's only and then they all jump in, and then Lando's like, "Okay, the reason why I rescue is I need to tell you this. Like, there's only 3 like important black people in the galaxy, and it's us, and we need to stick together."
I'm taking you guys home. You gotta see your mother. You ready?
You don't understand. There's a conspiracy going on.
Your mother.
Why do you think there's only 3 of us?
You said
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, Mandalorian got Baby Yoda's cute, etc., 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 stuff like that.
Do you ever just want to grab
Basically
Baby
carrying a
Yoda,
brand.
and then pat him on the head.
And call him George.
Your name is
Hug
now
him and feed him.
Yoda 2.
The
I'm
season
definitely-
ends where like he returns Baby Yoda, and then they give him like, hey, can you take care of teenage Yoda for us? So like that's what the season 3 is about. Is dealing with an angsty teen Yoda.
That'd be like Guardians of the Galaxy where they have like Teen Groot.
Oh god. No, let's not.
I mean, I actually wonder what it's it's probably gonna be because like since they're probably gonna be introducing Mandalore and the Darksaber stuff, like I'm guessing it's gonna be like season 3-ish will be about you're gonna reunite Mandalore now. And so,
Sabine will be there in live action.
but not Bo-Katan.
Yeah, cause reuniting Mandalore worked out so well the first fucking time. Or the second fucking time. I don't know how many times they must have done it.
He looks at the statue of Free Vizsla. Who is that? Don't you know that's the legendary Jedi Mandalorian? Free Vizsla.
It's Tar Vizsla.
Yeah,
Oh.
get the lore right.
Okay,
It's
okay,
Tar Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla. Fucking Tar Pit Vizsla.
Exactly.
It's
God,
like,
He's
what
not-
do you
Darksaber.
mean? He's
The
a
Darksaber
Jedi.
is just so easy to make fun of. It's just such an easy target.
Because
That, of course I'm gonna jump on it. No, it's literally edgy. It's literally edgier than the regular. It's literally
It's like a
edgier.
katana.
Yeah, folded 1,000 times over. Can cut through anything.
And instead of it being like in a circular tube, it's square.
Jedi Gaijin go home. It's so... Yeah, and it's black with white outline, sharp,
Like, can you
pointy.
imagine just like Bo-Katan
Still
being
gives
like, I'm
off
gonna
light.
reunite all of Mandalore with this, and then like Moff Gideon, I'm gonna stop you right there.
No, you see,
I'm
I
gonna
like to
take that,
think...
thanks.
I like to think that what happened was that after Rebels and like after some time, like Bo-Katan finally cleaned up like the rest of the pro-Imperial Mandalorians and like you reunited everyone and kicked off all the Imperial garrison, and then like the Empire needed to respond, and then for once the stars aligned and all the competent Imperial officers and generals and admirals and everything and Moffs all got together and put their heads together on how to destroy Mandalore. And the stars aligned for the Empire just that once, just to fuck over Mandalore. I
Or
like
they
to
just,
imagine
like-
that's what happened.
Or otherwise, like they just glassed Mandalore from orbit, and it's like, oh okay.
More likely something dumber happened, but until they write that story, that's gonna be my headcanon. It's like the actual competent Imperials got together for an invasion of Mandalore, and they just kicked the Mandalorian shit in. Like they just like rained hellfire. I imagine it like Halo Reach, where it's like the Mandalorians blow up like a important like Star Destroyer, and then they like immediately like Death Squadron shows up,
Or it
and
could
Vader's
just be
in on
like
the
how
action too.
Darth Maul got the Darksaber. He just walks in. Hey, I want to fight. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, it's probably gonna be like that. It's probably gonna be something stupid
Because,
like
like,
that. God damn
They
it.
did say that what was it called? They said like after Rebels they actually did manage to get Sabine's machine working again. I think, or I don't know. I just remember hearing that somewhere.
Oh, the Dutch. Oh, I hate that super weapon.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna destroy their armor.
Oh yeah,
It
season
targets
2.
their armor.
That's
I'm
when
just
they're
so
like, oh, yeah,
confused. I'm just like, then like, and it's like, but then take off, but our honor. That's like that's a weird thing to be honorable about. Oh, you can't like, it's like that's a sort of like imbecilic honor in the face of absolute. Oh my gosh, I can't even. And I don't really like that. I don't care if it happens in real life too. Like sometimes I just want like smarterish good guys and bad guys. I don't want to race to the bottom of the intelligence totem pole. You know what I mean? I want things to be like, these guys are smart, but those guys are smarter. Not like, this guy is dumb, but those guys, they're dumber. Like I want, yeah, but that happens. Yeah, it happens a lot in stories, especially
Can we
kids stories.
So
talk
speaking
about
of which, though, what do you think
what
of
happened?
Mandalorian then? Because like,
Go ahead.
do you think it's as intelligent heroes and villains, or
Uh, it's not bad. Yeah, I think it's fairly all right. Most of my issues with Mandalorian just comes from the acting of things or like the dialogue. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but it's just like it's either the dialogue or like the acting behind the dialogue or the direction given to the actors. I don't know who's at fault here, but like it's just it's kind of too simplistic to the point where it's not interesting to me. I say this because I compared it because while I was watching, I watched two shows. I watched um, Watchmen and I watched Witcher, and I had those as direct comparisons. And in both shows, the side characters are just a lot more alive than in Mandalorian.
Mandalorian doesn't have any side characters until like the
Yeah,
end.
I mean, it has a lot of it has a lot of one shot characters. You know,
Mr.
like one
Krabs
shot.
was there. What's his name?
Yeah, I know, and
Tom
he's not that great. I mean,
Wait,
he's but like in that case, he's kind of like the brute. So it's like I don't expect him to be like all bursting with personality all the time. But like the Twi'lek girl was just kind of cringy. She just overdid it.
Yeah,
She
I
kinda-
felt the exact same way.
She oversold it to me.
I mean, hey, if you're gonna be like in Star
She's
Wars,
like Harley
like this
Quinn.
one episode,
Yeah, but it wasn't in a good way. Like if you're gonna be in Star Wars one episode, do a good goddamn job. No,
Stop
it's like
overacting.
it's a minor thing. Yeah, it's just it's this thing that I have. It's just especially when watching another show in parallel with it.
what'd you think about
it
Mr.
feels
Funny
like it.
Guy though?
Bill Burr.
Yeah, I think that's him. The comedian.
Bill Burr was the best of those of the gang. So that's saying something because it's not like he was like outstanding. He was just solid, and that's really saying something about the quality of the side characters in the show.
I want to say
When
that
Bill Burr is like out there, up there, just being himself.
I want to say that Jon Favreau is a design genius. He took things that already existed and gave them red eyes, and it fixed everything about them.
Oh yeah,
that's the
totally.
thing.
The
red
ATST.
eyes.
Yeah,
Dude, that was
battle
pretty dope.
droids, red eyes.
yeah, the two things really epic.
Yeah, he really fixed Star Wars by giving them red eyes. Thank you, Jon Favreau. Much love.
I mean, but honestly, like the way they're depicted compared to like the way they're depicted in the movies or like in almost media before it is like a lot better.
I mean, like, say for example, like Stormtrooper change. Like, there's so many times where like they actually like change Stormtrooper design, and it's like, you know, I usually take that as more of like just an art change, where like, hey, we
Yeah.
want to like
I
do
feel like
something
they-
that's stylized a different way.
I feel like they did it just so like especially like mostly like in the case of like the ATSC they did it so you can see it in the dark better.
Yeah.
But the thing is
That's-
that the show when I watch it, it's like always so dark. I have to turn the brightness up on my phone all the way because the show just by default is really dark and it doesn't feel like that really helped anyway. So
I don't
Yeah,
know.
It really
no, the
pointless
show is just
change
that
to me.
dark and gritty that you have to turn your brightness up.
It really is not actually. The show's actually not that dark and gritty.
It looks like it on my phone. Like I don't watch it on a TV on a computer. I watch it on my phone, and the show is always like
Oh, on your
really dark.
okay. I mean, I watched it on my laptop. I thought it was alright. But it, like, one of my favorite scenes was still like the first episode where like he shows up to meet like the client, and then like all the stormtroopers they're looking all like very grimy,
Yeah.
you know, and that's still like one of my favorite things. I don't know.
Kinda
Werner
like you,
Herzog's
man,
character
though.
was
We don't take off our helmets either.
yeah. Werner Herzog's character is like I don't know if that's just him. It was pretty hammy, but I found it all right because I like the big words. I like him using big words.
It makes me feel
Instead of
intelligent,
saying,
but
"Would you
I
like a
understand
drink?" Would you like a drink? It's like I don't know what he asked. He was like something libations, which is like drink.
Would you like
pretty
to
much.
consume liquidation substance?
In celebration of the closing of our shared narrative, and it's just like that's so fucking verbose, but I dig it.
I mean, yeah, it gets the
What's
point across.
Beskar?
Like, this is Imperial. Big shot
It does-
Imperial looking for a
Yeah.
baby.
He sounds like really try hard, but I think that's not bad. That's all right. I can dig it. Moff Gideon killing him though, that was kind of like, oh, that sucks. I wanted to see more of him. Oh well.
He's sleeping now. We will all be very quiet so we don't have to wake him.
It's just
Yeah.
like how they like
After
Moff Gideon kills people for like disappointing him for stupid things.
Or, like, interrupting him.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you never see like any bodies next to him or like around him. He never actually kills them on screen. It's kind of lame. I was
That is
hoping-
true. That's a thing I noticed immediately in episode 8 because he never gets the chance to like actually kill an underling.
I really
Rather,
wanted
they
him
just
to
say
do
he
it.
killed an underling. Oh, I mean, no, I mean he did. He killed the client, but it's just like he doesn't kill him for like anything super petty. It feels.
Hand over child.
Because, like, most of the ones, it's just, like, offhand humor when, like, the scout troopers
Yeah.
are talking. It's like, oh, he killed
Yeah.
that guy.
Kill no. Yeah, but it's like I don't know. I mean, even Moff Gideon felt a little stilted in the way he talks, especially when he started talking about like the heavy blood, the E11.
This
he
is
started,
the
like,
E-Web.
listing- Yeah, this is the E-Web blood, like heavy, and it's like you might recognize the model. And he like goes off listing the names of each character, and it's like it just comes off as not
You,
right.
old rebel shock trooper. You may know it because you have used it. Din Djarin, stinky Mandalore bitch. I hate you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, can't wait to see those E-webs that were mounted onto the gunships. And then
That just kind of sounds. It sounded kind of stilted. That's what it felt.
When
And I don't know if that's the actors
'Cause,
or
like,
if that's like.
Because
the
he, like,
directing.
shoots them up, and then he's like, oh, yeah, you better comply. And then, you know, he sets up the E-webs like, oh, well, I'm just going to give you all this time to comply, even though you just shot everyone in there.
I just really like the part where they take off Mandalorian's helmet and the guy's face was like all fucking sweaty and his hair was messed up and he doesn't look like the character like you like a badass. He looks kind of wimpy to be honest.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
just-
that's why they need
I'm
the
all
armor.
fine. I'm all right
because,
with
you know,
that.
That's
Yeah.
everything to them.
You just look like a nerd.
Like when
I'm alright with
when
that.
Jango Fett takes off his helmet, you can kind of see him like as that guy, but like when the Mandalorian takes off his helmet, I don't see him as like the Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's
about
true.
Boba
Well, I mean,
taking
I
off
think
his
that's because that's the thing. Mandalorian's not really. It's not actually that gritty of a show, and he's not. I don't think he's that gritty. He's always like a good person. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
really. I guess he kills the Jawas. That's a thing.
And then
They're
he, like,
fuckers and they
It was,
deserve
I
it.
mean,
the
it
guy
was
in half.
deserved.
Yeah, but it's like he's. I don't know. He doesn't come off as like a super grimy guy. He's always got that heart of gold thing.
I just really like.
Whereas like
babies.
Django is like very like hardened, you know.
And then, like,
How
yeah,
is
the
he
end of the
hardened? He has a
prison
fucking clone of
episode.
himself eating babies.
Yeah, but he's still like he comes off as more hardened than Din Djarin.
Look,
That's his
he
name,
shot
Din Djarin.
Dinosaur Jedi.
Yeah, he
He
did.
shot him in cold blood.
His name is
Some
not
people just-
Dinosaur Jedi. His name is Coleman Tribber. Get it right, or
And why is that the first thing that comes up when you search it in Google?
I hate you.
Fact. it's literally fact. That's what he's always gonna be known for. Just like Ice Cream Man from episode 5.
Will
He's
Row
like
Hood.
running around the ice cream maker.
What else? I've spoken. IG-11. There's the whole thing where there was a whole flashback sequence of Quill
Quail. I think that's what his name is.
trying to like fix IG-11, and I didn't really understand the significance of that. I'm wondering if there's like something more to it, but I'm assuming since they're both dead, there probably isn't.
It was supposed
Is
to
there-
like kind of make you feel for IG-11.
How does it? I don't know how that works, but okay.
Because it's like showing that like he's reprogrammed and like trying to do good.
He's reprogrammed and like, but like that's the entire point is that he's not really.
Because like he
He's
talked to him
less
about it,
human.
where he said like, oh, droids are only as good or as bad as their programmers. So because I'm good and you trust me, he's going to be good.
Yeah, but there's like the whole flashback went on for quite some time, and I was wondering if that was gonna like mean anything in episode 8, but it didn't seem to. Whatever.
What's the name of that guy that like he runs the guild?
Grief.
Grief.
Grief Karga.
I think like his character like development where he changes the work for like the Mandalorian like to be his friend. I thought it was kind of weird. He goes like, "Oh, we were planning on betraying you, but your baby healed me. I think I want to be your friend now."
It was kind of simplistic, but it's like I said, like Mandalorian just seems like a very simple show. It's not. It doesn't really. There's no.
It's simple, but I wait until fucking Friday just to watch it.
Yeah, nuts, crazy. How we're all just slaves to the mouse.
So we gotta rebel. Let's stand up
Save
and
the
go to other
rebellion.
places like
Save the
DC.
team.
Or are we? Because, I never had this Disney Plus subscription.
You're a smuggler?
Like Poe?
You're a stormtrooper? You're a smuggler? You're
You're a scavenger?
I could do this all night.
I could do this all day.
They fly now?
Yeah.
They fly now.
I like all of the best quotes out of The Rise of Skywalker, just questions. Questions followed by statements.
The actors are pretty, the actors are pretty good, I feel, for, sequel trilogy overall. It's just that the story's weird. I don't like it. I don't like the overall state of the galaxy. I don't like the weird lore changes they made that differs from my precious baby EU.
How would you feel if they introduced the Yuzon Vongs?
If they introduced it,
Yeah.
I'd laugh. Oh, I'd laugh so hard because so many people bitch about how the EU did the Yuuzhan Vong and Canon will never do that. Just like so many people bitched about Dark Empire, and then when Palpatine showed up in the trailer, everyone suddenly switched sides.
I mean, it doesn't change anything. It still was dumb, but if they might as well just do the Yuzon Vong. I don't like them, but fucking whatever.
Yeah,
Maybe I might
kinda
like
seems
them
weird
if they
though
do
that
it
they
right.
changed their music to that, where it's just like, oh yeah, it's so stupid.
I
Why
feel
don't
like
they do Dark Empire?
both sides. I saw both sides of it, where it's like people who liked Dark Empire suddenly didn't, and then people who hated Dark Empire suddenly did. It's just like, haha, haha, haha. Now I know who actually read the stories and made their own judgments on it.
It's me,
I always hated Dark Empire.
Palpatine as a clone.
But Dark
it's
Empire
me.
was one of the only expanded universe things that I read. So it's like, that's like what I grew up knowing about Star Wars.
The expanded universe. They cloned Palpatine.
There's that,
It's
and
interesting.
the what's it? There's some novel about Leia, Han, and Luke. They all go to some planet so that Luke can pod race so he can get the money to pay for the rebellion. But then some.
I really don't
Imperial
remember that.
disguise
Have you ever
as-
read The Crystal Star?
No.
The one where
There's
Luke
certain things.
fucking fights a giant blob trying to absorb people.
Oh, it's Rebel Force Target is the book. The novel's called Rebel Force Target.
That's a really great name. Thank you.
It's like Rebel Force Target.
Is Star Wars expanded universe names are always so shitty, like Rebel Assault, Rebel Attack, Rebel Offensive, Rebel Suck
I don't know.
Toes.
There's some good ones. Heir to the Empire, Dark Force
what was it?
Rising.
Like Jedi :
The Last
Fallen
Command.
Order.
Oh, yeah, the
Jedi Fallen
there's
Order.
because there's multiple series, so there's the new Jedi. It's what's it?
Well, like it was Jedi Knight was like the EU like thing, but then like they just call it it's Jedi Fallen Order.
No, it'd be books like Star Wars, New Jedi Order, Enemy Lines 1, Rebel Dream. All the pauses that I made have colons, so it's just like.
What's the name of that book where like Boba Fett is like hunting down Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan is like carrying like this kid who's also a Jedi off of a planet about to be bombarded from the Empire.
I don't know.
It's like a separatist planet.
I have no idea.
It was like it's in the same line of like series as the EU's version of The Last Jedi.
Who knows? Maybe they'll put that story into the Obi-Wan series.
He gets hunted down by Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Dude,
people thought Mandalorian was be where Boba Fett shows up, but no, it's the Obi-Wan movie or TV show.
I know. I'm going to get my revenge.
People are still speculating it's Boba Fett. Though I think I saw this Funko Pops thing that like showed that it might just be like some new Mandalorian. But I'm not sure if that's actually confirmed in any meaningful way.
They had
kind
a bunch of new Funko Pops.
Yeah, and then one of them is like a cape with green armor, but it's like a female. You know, I never understood why they make it so that it's like girls and guys have different helmet visors.
So that you know whose gender it is, because
Yeah, but that's just.
They can't
Why would you
put
do that?
boob armor anymore. So now you have to
It's
change
just-
it by the
do
eyes.
that, 'cause that's not
But
right.
that's why do you need to differentiate in the first place? Like originally, it could have just been like, oh, this is what the night owls wear. Guys and
Mandalorians aren't
girls
very
of night owls.
sophisticated. They just kill people.
But like they could have just like not had that. They could have just had like everyone wears this type of armor, but then some of them wear that, or like they had it more customized. Like some people wear this and some other people wear that.
Oh yeah, did you
So
like
that
the,
hurt the budget of the animated shows, admittedly.
Did you like the explanation that she gave for like the Mandalorian Jedi Wars? It was like, oh, the ancient Mandalore fought people who had these powers.
Oh yeah.
Sorcerers.
It reminds me of
I don't know.
like the conversations between Boba Fett and Palpatine in Battlefront 2, where Palpatine talks to like Boba Fett and was like, "Keep your fucking magic away from my equipment, dude."
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if he was really rescued by like Death Watch, then like I feel like he should know a bit more, but whatever. Maybe he was just maybe it was just like too young, or it's just something that never came up that much.
I don't know.
He didn't
Maybe
really
it's
understand.
like might have been like post Maul Death Watch, like the people that broke away.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that sounds
it
reasonable.
has to be something like away from Maul, because why would Maul get involved with droids? Because then that would just lead him back to
like
Palpatine.
after Maul took over, they just all like painted their stuff. So, assuming like they just kind of kept the same blue armor, and they decided, okay, we're gonna fight for Republic now. Okay, day.
We're Republicans now, Hokey Day.
We switched parties.
Yeah.
I want political Mandalorians.
This can be a.
I mean, we did get politics. We got the fucking pacifists, and then they all died because they're goddamn pacifists.
It's true.
I don't know. People really hate the pacifist thing, but I thought it was okay.
Centrist?
I can understand what people
in
get
my
mad.
Star Wars, a franchise built on two sides. No, you have to go. Goodbye, centrist bitch.
No, but like the thing about the pacifists is that it was really extreme. I like it better than like the whole like Obi-Wan Satine arguing thing is more interesting to me than most of the Anakin Padme arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have like a
Padme is like,
contrast.
oh, and Padme has like weird opinions. It's like, oh, we need to like decrease the production of clones. And it's like, but you're in the middle of a war.
And plus,
Yeah,
even before
Anakin
they had the
goddamn
clones,
war.
they didn't have like
And you're not
anyone
really-
protecting
you're-
them.
You're not really winning.
And then you have Anakin, who's like, "Oh, people should be forced to agree." It's like,
That doesn't sound like a democracy. I don't care.
I don't know. You see, like I can understand where Anakin's coming from actually. Though admittedly, I'm a bit of authoritarian. I do have weird authoritarian ideas myself, but it's mostly just the idea like because Anakin was a slave, and the Republic just allows this slave stuff to happen. So obviously he's going to be like, the system doesn't work.
Everyone should be slaves.
No, it's more that he thinks he doesn't understand why smart people like him can't just be in charge. That's it. And that's like it's a very arrogant idea, but it's also like it's grounded in a sense of like I don't know, it seems like something that makes, even if I don't really agree with it, like it makes sense to me that someone could think that. If everyone around you seems really, really, really fucking stupid all the time, and you're way better than them in most situations, it seems like, then yeah, democracy sounds dumb, because obviously some people are just better than others.
You're giving Anakin like way too much credit because he is haunted by a kiss that Padme should.
Yeah. Overall, that movie is still really bad. But like the idea that like everyone's like quick to be like and that's so fascist. Like that's not fascist. That's saying a more general authoritarian like idea, but it's like more just the idea of like, like why can't the proper people be in charge in the first place? Because ultimately, majority can be kind of stupid sometimes.
I know how we could solve the Clone Wars. By killing the banking clan and the techno union. There you go.
Bring down
eat the rich.
Corporations. Yeah, kill them.
Though I mean, like honestly, that's like part of the idea is that like it's the corporations. It's the goddamn corporations ruining everything.
You're buying our war.
Kind of like that's kind of the message. Like when people are like I don't know. This is the thing about like The Last Jedi. It's like it covers ideas, but it's not like these ideas never showed up before.
Then you have like La Donna, who's like, oh, New Gunray's radical. You don't let him represent the Trade Federation. We're neutral in this.
Yeah, so it's like, and they're more profiteers. That's already a thing. No, you don't have to be of a famous bloodline to be a Jedi. Like that's already a thing. We saw like a bunch of prequel Jedi, didn't we? So Obi-Wan wasn't part of anything. Yoda wasn't part of like
Obi-Wan's from Stu John.
Skywalker. Yeah, obviously, yeah. He's from a planet named fucking Stoojon, and yet he was ascended to greatness. Truly, that's something.
Greatness? You mean an old man in the desert?
Yeah, that's true too. There's greatness in it.
Look what I have risen above.
What do you have?
A nice comfy home, a boy to protect. My lightsaber's still here too.
Yeah, Maul's a bitch.
Nothing
goes Maul's way.
Maul's words. Maul lied when he died because Luke did not avenge him, the Sith.
No, see, Rey Skywalker wouldn't avenge him. That should have been one of the voices. Like you just hear like
Darth Maul's like, yo, what's up?
No, like when Rey's like laying down looking at the lightning, she just hears Maul,
avenge us.
And then everyone's just like, get the fuck out of here.
I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.
Bye.